We're here. Mike, what's up?
What's happening, man?
We're good. We're here live with little technical issues this time, right? We did it. We made it.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. How was your weekend?
It was good.
I know. I think you're starting to get the tan. I think you're kind of like me. I think we're starting to get the tans on the side. What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You have to go back and look at the old videos and you'll see the difference.
Yeah. Did you? I heard we had some good news this weekend that you were mentioning in our group about you having some deals closing. I mean, you have good news. I have bad news. Let's kick it off with the good news. Let's start there, and we'll be answering questions today. We got Sarah. What's going on, Sarah? We got Adam. What's going on? And yeah, let's kick it off with your good news, man.
Okay. Yeah, I have some really good news. End of the week, a buddy of mine was sitting on the beach. I said, "Hey, dude, you got to go with me to the UPS store and be a witness on title." He's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I just need a warm body. It's about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Come on.
Getting your friends involved in the business."
Exactly. So we went and did that and closed that out. Actually, my wife just went home yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And so she checked some of the business mail, so the checks are already there.
Oh, that's good.
I know that you like it completely wired directly in.
I know. So do you get all your checks, paper checks? Do you get all of them paper checks?
It depends. If it's a really large or a larger amount,
true.
Yeah, I get wired.
Yeah.
But then, and then today I sold a property sitting on the beach under an umbrella.
Oh my gosh, under an umbrella. So what do you got? So walk me through that. Tell me about your tech setup. Do you have like a mobile? Because my buddy just bought like a Verizon 4G whatever router. Do you use your phone? How do you sit on the beach with Wi-Fi?
I've got unlimited data through Verizon, so it's not really a big deal.
There you go.
I just literally the lady called.
Yeah.
She's a previous buyer, so definitely work your buyer.
Nice.
And she asked me about the property, so as I've got her on the phone, I'm pulling up my Google Docs sheet to look at it.
Yeah.
And answered a question or two. She said, "Will you take this?" I said, "Sure, for you, absolutely. Let's do it. It'll be done." So she's like looking to, buy properties all over. So she's becoming a regular.
So that was like pretty simple then. It was basically like, "Hey, are you interested? Yes, I am. Let's do it." I mean, it seems pretty.
Yeah, she said.
Seems pretty quick.
She said, "I've already been out there. I've already seen it. I like it. Fits what my criteria is. Can you write it up?" I said, "You'll have the contract within the hour."
Wow.
So I came back here and typed up the contract, docu-signed it over to her. She called me with one question, resolved that, and I think it's already back in my inbox.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's really good. Hold on. I'm changing things up a little bit on the screen as you were talking. I'm sorry if I looked a little busy and I wasn't fine. Like so intense. It's just, I think the distance of your camera was like cutting you off right about here. It's fine now.
Oh,
I changed it. But it was like you were talking, it was just down here, so everyone's, it was just weird to me. It's me. Nobody else was complaining but me in my own mind, so we're good.
Well, usually I have it monitored in the background to where I can.
You could tell. Yeah, you'd be like this. Yeah. So it's fine. Yeah. I just changed it up real quick. It's all good. Everybody knows our names. If they don't, they're strangers.
Yeah.
Stranger danger. So, all right. So you got Verizon Unlimited Data, and you closed this deal with one of your existing buyers, which is great.
Yep.
How did your existing buyer know about the property? Do you have a certain method to your madness about letting your existing buyers know? Your previous buyers?
Yeah, I usually send out things on new properties, but I think I had sent this one to her, and she literally, like the check that I got just the other day, literally was the deal I just did with her. So I mean, she just was ready to do another one. So she goes to my sites and looks at my stuff, and she gets everything first. I have a couple different
nice.
buyers that, you know, are my quote unquote VIP buyers, I guess. I know they'll come.
Yeah. You don't do, because with land, I mean, it's pretty common with houses. But do you have like a membership fee? Like, do you make them put a deposit down for your VIP buyers list or no?
Nah, I don't. I think that's a good option as you grow your business.
Yeah.
But I just haven't done it.
Yeah. I know it works really well with houses too, especially in more competitive markets. It might not even be, I've never done it with land. It might not even be like needed with land because it's much, I don't know, it's a little slower base. Yeah. So yeah, it might not be needed. It might not be so high competition, but it's definitely something like, it's interesting. I posted this in the group the other day about, I've been calling it the 5 pillars. Where, this, and I know we've talked about this before, is, people coming into real estate who are just getting started, they start off with like land because there's less competition. There is that timetable. And this is, by the way, this is someone just brand new, right? Someone's just brand new. There's longer contract periods and more time for someone who's just starting out to figure out how to do the business. They don't have to worry about all the walls and the lights and the roof and all that stuff. So it takes out that element. So I look at that as like level 1, level 2 being single family real estate, level 3, small multi-units, 2 to 4 units, level 5, multi-units, maybe 50 units and above. And then, wait, did I miss level 4? I feel like level 5 was commercial. I think I just skipped a level. Anyway,
you're just expediting your business.
Maybe I just jumped. Yeah. Anyway, long story short is, with land, I could see with houses that you have a single family VIP buyers list where people putting down deposits because a little bit more time. The time frame from 14,
very shorter time.
Very shorter time frame. You need your buyers to act quick. So. Yeah, so that's good. So you closed that one. How did you close that? You closed it all via email? Did you close it over the phone?
This one will run. She has an attorney that's actually a pretty good attorney. I work with him pretty good. Everything goes through her attorney's office.
Okay.
So, I'll get the contract. I'll send it over to her attorney's office. She actually, here's a cool thing. I was talking to her today, and I trying to really just be nosy and see what exactly what your deal is.
What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. Because it's an older lady.
Yeah.
But super nice. But long story short, I said, well, you had your realtor on the last one. I said, is he going to be involved in this? And she said, no, I don't need him anymore. I'll just come straight to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. That works for me.
Yeah, exactly. So what is she doing? Do you know yet?
She just is banking land. She says that her and her son spoke, and that just the money sitting in the bank is not necessarily a good idea. And Nathan, she's getting it's not like I'm charging her retail, so she's getting a good deal.
She's getting a discount
from me too, so she could definitely sell it when she needs to.
Right. Well, that's a great relationship, though. There's definitely lessons there to be learned. Repeat buyers, giving them a good deal. Not price gouging them, that way they come back to you over and over again, buying more lots. Do they happen to be in the same state? I'm just curious, as an investor, does this buyer invest in a particular state, or it doesn't matter what state it's in?
No, she invests here in North Carolina, particular part down east of North Carolina is where she likes to invest. And, she's a really good one in that, I can share who owns the property. If I don't have it and haven't closed out yet, I don't have to worry. Our relationship's good enough that I don't have to worry about her going behind my back. Right.
She's enjoying the fact that you're getting it under contract and making it all happen on the front end.
Yeah, it's very easy for her.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Have you asked her about bigger plots? Because that's like the next question I'd be asking. Like, hey, we've bought a few of these. Do you want anything bigger? Have you had that conversation?
Yeah, and I've got to have that conversation after this one closes, and see, where I don't think in the conversations I've had, it really depends on the land more than the price figure. So if
it's like a certain
what
style.
she's looking for, so
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Donald saying he's got a closing moves to Friday. Just throwing this up there. Bank is waiting on the survey. Got another property sold yesterday. Contracted with the buyer. Sold another one today. What? There's a lot going on here. Contracted with the buyer. Wait. There's like 3 deals in one post here. Hold on. We got... Hold on. Okay, so Donald's closing that was happening today got moved to Friday. Bank is waiting for the survey. I got my fingers crossed for you, Donald. Got another property sold yesterday, contracted with buy, and sold one today, contracted with buyer, and another closing at the end of August. I know about that one already. Got a contract back for $60K, gonna list for $90K, $89K. That's great.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Nathan,
we're in the middle of this COVID stuff.
Yeah.
And everybody that's watching right now are doing deals.
I know, right? Isn't that crazy?
I mean, the real estate world is good. Everybody's got deals going. This is awesome.
I know. It's just something that's been coming up recently. It's like, this is the whole idea of not waiting. Like, don't sit on the fence. The news, the media is like bombarding with like fear and masks and COVID and virus. Don't get me wrong. It is like, it's real. It's true. And get this. The other day I was doing my cash flow show with my buddy Dave, and he knows somebody who knows the people that died that I'm related to. It was 4 people in the Amaral family. They're not my direct family, but they are related. They're like, whatever, separated cousins or whatever. I don't even know. I want to get into the ancestry here. But they died in my family, and it actually was posted in the news that the 4 family members died, and it got posted, and it got, it was posted in Boston News. Anyway, it doesn't feel real until it hits close to home, right? It doesn't feel real till it's close to home. So there's a lot of times you're just like, oh yeah, that it's out there. No, it is real, and it's a problem that they're gonna get solved, but it's not going away anytime soon. It's like this new normal that we keep talking about, and it's actually something that, thank God, we're working remote. I mean, if you think about it, now is the best time to go 100% in this. Then think about it, wait about it. Like, there hasn't been a better time.
That's true. That's very true. I mean, you're totally protected when you're sitting in your own house or wherever. This is a wonderful time and it's given a lot of people more time with what they've had going on with their jobs and things. It's given them more time to jump into their business and run with it. When things look bleak, you got to put your head down and keep moving forward. And you may find out things are not quite as bleak in what you're doing as what, the world may think.
Yeah. No, that's very true. And that's why it's so important to surround yourself with good news and positive stories and positive people and people who are doing things and active. Because man, if you have the news turned on all day or even in the background, I don't know if I know I don't do that, so I don't want to say.
I don't do it.
Yeah, I know people who literally have the news on in the background, and those little words of whatever, COVID, masks, another 50,000 people got tested, whatever it is, and how many deaths there are, all that just keeps going into your mind. And I think it just creates more fear and doubt when at this point, it's got to be 100%. There's got to be nothing else. It's got to be this or nothing else. And you're living proof of that. And many of us, obviously, in this group and people who are sharing their successes are living proof of that and making that happen. And I know there's some who even in our group, who are trying and even leaving jobs behind, who are making efforts and strides to leave jobs behind and just go 100% into this business. There's no better time to make that happen. Donald's also mentioning, I'm sorry, Nathan, my typing is bad. No, my reading is bad. I can't read straight. So first day of school was nice, and the second day ended up in speech class for the next 6 years. No, I always tell people that, even my daughter is dyslexic. Do you know that's like when you read backwards? Yeah. So my daughter can't read straight. And I didn't realize it until about a month ago because we were trying to teach her stuff, right? And then I'm talking to my daughter and I'm saying, hey, read this, do these words and do it on your iPad and all that. So she doesn't put sentences together left to right. She actually even reads words right to left. And I'm like, You're not Arabic. Like, what's going on?
Yeah,
you know? And then it hit me. I'm like, oh, wait a second. My daughter is right now at this point dyslexic. Maybe that will change in the future. But so I told my wife, I'm like, because we were getting upset with her. We're like, why are you saying it backwards? And then it hit me, you know, it's like, bing. Yeah.
Light bulb goes on.
Light bulb. Yeah. Yeah. I'm the one who should be wearing the helmet.
Yeah. Awesome.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, this is good news. Good news for everybody who's, actively doing stuff and doing deals. And, yeah. Hey, what did your friend say when you went and had him as a witness, by the way? Did he make any comments about being in real estate and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, he was just blown away. It's like, how do you get properties like that? Why do people sell them so cheap? He can't because the business he was in. Yeah. For 30 years was totally different. Mm-hmm. And he's like, he says, I worked hard to make the money I did, and you're doing it sitting on the freaking beach. I said, I get it. Yeah. But, people just, they're like, he's just like in awe.
He's in awe, right?
Yeah.
Hey, and I got a question for you. It actually comes from a buddy of mine who's potentially going to be joining our group. Interesting enough, get this. He's in California, and he sends me this message. He's like, hey, I noticed that you talk about real estate, and I was thinking about getting into tax liens and deeds on land. He's like, I have a buddy. So he's telling me this story that he has a buddy who buys land on tax liens, right? And he pays anywhere between $50 to $100. That's the only ones he buys, $50 to $100. And then he flips them for $500 to $400. I was like, dude. I said, let me tell you something. I said, I don't mean to bash your friend, but if you're gonna spend that much time on,
it's a lot of time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I told him. And I'm telling this in an audio message, me and my audios. So I'm over there telling him, I'm like, hey man, I'm like, if you're gonna spend that much time, why don't you just come over to my group with me and my buddy Mike, and dude, we will teach you how to do this business, and you're gonna make thousands of dollars on a transaction. He's like, really? He's like, can we talk about that? I said, yeah, we'll talk about it either on, can you talk today? He said, no, Tuesday or Wednesday. So we're gonna make that happen. And
mm-hmm. The other cool thing is that most of the properties that we buy and sell, 80+% don't have any taxes.
Right.
Because taxes aren't huge on them. Most of the time people pay them.
Right.
Sometimes you come across them. So, when somebody's focusing just on that, you're effectively leaving out 80% of the other deals.
Right. And that's exactly what I told him. I said, hey man, you're spending a lot of time on the process. Okay. And then you're getting a small profit margin, but then I said, you're forgetting about the whole other side of the deal. And he's like, I don't understand the other side of the deal. I said, well, that's what we're here for, man. Come along. Yeah. So
look at the other 80%.
Yeah, exactly. And interesting enough, I mean, he still has his job, but he's definitely looking to relocate, to go remote. Sarah brings in a question. Whoa, this is a big one. It's covering our faces. I'm trying to delegate to a VA and having a hard time explaining or even knowing what to delegate. I want to instruct my virtual assistant to read my mind, organize it all, and enter the data into the computer. Then tell me what to do. I'll make the calls. I can do that. I can talk to people, but organizing this stuff hurts my brain. How do I explain my VA what to do? I have an answer in my head, Mike, but I'll let you go first.
You need to find that VA that you mesh with and that is detail oriented, number one.
Yeah.
And you may have to interview a few to get that. And my big thing, Nathan, and I'll turn it back to you, is that when you're working with your VA and you're doing maybe a Skype call with them, Zoom call, whatever, record it so they have that.
Sure. And
they can go back. If you're telling them, I need you to use this CRM or whatever they're doing, have it where they can go back. But I've had VAs that pretty much, told me where I was going for the day. They're out there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to go through a few to find them, but and I can help you, Sarah, with some ideas. Shoot me an email or something about different things you can delegate. Think of the simple tasks that take a long time that can be delegated out. What's your take on it, Nathan?
This is my take on it. First of all, I'm going to be pretty direct with this statement, and that is, don't hire potential, hire experience. Okay?
Yes.
A lot of times, here's what happens. Here's what happens with us. And I'll be there. I was there. I sat in the seminar seats. I bought the home study courses. I was there. But here's what happens with real estate real estate investors that come into this business. They come into the business as a solopreneur, and they think they have to build the whole thing by themselves, and they stay in that mindset. Okay? I know this is very direct, but please hear me out. What you have to do, okay, is you have to identify what you are good at and what you're great at and delegate the rest. Okay. Otherwise, you'll spend most of the time doing the things that you're not good at and trying to get very frustrated and aggravated. Okay. So what the underlying process to that is, go find someone who's already doing the things that you don't like to do. Like, to them, it's like their best day. If they could just I don't know exactly what Sarah is dealing with in regards to entering data. Okay, she just mentioned, let's say, enter data into a computer, right? That's called data entry. There are people who love data entry. Like, they would rather do that than not talk to people. They don't want to talk to anybody. They just want to do data entry, and they want to put on their earbuds, and they just want to listen to music or their favorite podcast, and they want to do data entry all day. And they're amazing at it. And they're already doing it right now. That's the kind of people you want to find. And I think what happens to a lot of real estate investors when they're scaling up their business is they say, well, I got to do everything. I have to teach my assistant, because how is it going to look if I don't know it all? And then no. Let me give you a shortcut. Let them teach you. Let your assistant teach you what to do. That's the best thing. I had an assistant, like, there was this software. I think, Mike, you probably heard. You want to take that? Is that a seller? Is that a buyer, call it?
No, that's not a buyer.
I had an assistant. Have you heard of the software Zapier before? I just did a video about this. I had an assistant because I was like, dude, it's a little technical, and I was getting frustrated for the first 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I'm like, what? Connect what to what? I hired someone who's really great at Zapier. I said, just give me an overview, 30 minutes. Show me how you're going to set this up. You've done it before. You've done it for other people. Great. Show me live. You're going to set this up for me. Just show me live. I don't want to do it. I just want to watch it. I want to know, in my head, how to do it. So as you're working and on my project, share your screen with me. And that's literally what we did. We just, he was working on my stuff, shared the screen with me, and I was like, oh, cool, good to know. I don't need to know how to do everything. And a lot of people get hung up with that. So I know that's a long answer, but the reality is hire experience, not potential.
And you may have more than one VA that you're hiring. One VA may be good at one particular thing, and another VA is good at another particular part, which actually is good, because if you teach one VA to do everything and they leave you, then you're back to doing it all.
You're back to square one. But you bring up a great point. When you are doing these video calls with your VAs, record everything, upload it to your Google Drive, put it in a virtual assistant folder. Oh, this is this process. This is that process. So your next VA, but see, here's the thing, right? It's kind of counterintuitive, but you can still record the videos. because your process might be a little bit different than the next one, right? Just a little bit. But you don't, if you have a virtual assistant who's posting on Craigslist, let's say, just as an example, that next assistant, even if you lose that one, should not need to know how to post on Craigslist. You're not there to teach someone to do that. You just want to grab someone who already posts on Craigslist on a regular basis. If you need someone to be an analyst in your business and do comps for you, I had this conversation last week with one of our clients. If you need someone to be an analyst for you in your business and pull comps, they should already be pulling comps every day. Like it's their full-time job to be pulling comps. So yes, you can record videos. Hey, this is our process. We do this a little bit differently. But they should already be doing this stuff on a regular basis so that you're not teaching them. And I think, Mike, a lot of people get hung up on this because they think, how can I delegate this if I don't know it myself?
Yeah, think about it in everyday business. I mean, if you take your car in to have it serviced, oil change, you take it to somebody that does that, that knows how to do that. You don't want me to do it because your engine probably will lock up.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to that particular person. I don't take it to my doctor. I take it to my mechanic.
So true.
It's just the same thing. But there's definitely things that you can farm out to VAs to make your life easy. You know, my big thing is when I get a new property in, I don't do pictures.
Yeah.
And I don't do due diligence because I could do it, but I don't like doing the pictures. Making them pretty, and I don't want the time of tied up getting the due diligence.
Exactly.
I send that off, and I just simply wait till I get that back.
Right.
And then I'll start working.
Yep. And again, that's just focusing on what you're great at. That's the key thing, is focusing on what you're great at. That way you stay consistent. I call it a high income skill. So if your high income skill is doing that thing all the time, and you're really great at it, then just keep doing that because it just spits out money. That thing just keeps spitting out money. I remember one of our clients, Monica, she was... sorry, Donald just got off the phone with a buyer, got another buyer contract to draw up tomorrow. That's awesome, man. Good stuff. You're on fire, man. Everybody in this group's on fire these days. That's awesome. And I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, I just forgot.
Donald's news just it was better than what you had to say.
Yeah, I totally forgot. I can't even think of it. Sometimes I need to just finish what I'm saying and then go into another segment because otherwise I just forgot what I was saying. But that's good stuff. And I know I was talking about VAs and stuff. I forgot where we were going. Yeah. Anyway.
At the end of the day, find your VA that specializes in what you need.
Yeah.
And let them do it.
Oh, okay. I remember now. So the reality is you and I did a full training on this inside of the course, right? Inside of our training program. And one of the things that we went over was Upwork and how there are people in that search criteria that have done over I think 1,000 hours or 10,000 hours or whatever it is, over $10,000 and then over so many hours, right? Think about that. That VA has spent more time than most real estate investors just getting started in doing that same process. So imagine having a VA who posts on Craigslist and has over 1,000 hours of experience. Imagine having a VA, an assistant in your business who's done over 1,000 hours of pictures, a VA who's done over 1,000 hours of whatever, analysts, whatever it is. That's the kind of VA that you want to be hiring, right? Hiring on experience. Sarah says, I had a lot of HOA properties in the last county. My VAs couldn't get the info, and I had to dig a lot to get the answers for my buyers. Has that been experience? Has that been an experience with you? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that happens from time to time. The best thing to do is once you find out if it's got an HOA, first of all, ask your buyers if they have your sellers if they have a contact with the HOA in that group. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. but also look at other things. Maybe look at houses, land, whatever that realtors have on the market in that area, if they do have some. Because most of the time they will post something about HOA stuff in there. And, you can always call them and act like you're interested in that property and say, well, tell me about the HOA. Is there a link? And a lot of times even Google the neighborhood name. Yeah. That will get you a lot of HOA stuff too.
Yeah, one strategy, like you said, is taking that same address, go over into, because most people use Zillow because they're posting for sale by owner. But if you go over into Realtor.com or Trulia or whatever, and you type in that same address, you're going to get all the houses there in that market, right? You get all the houses, and you'll be able to see right in the description, you'll be able to see HOAs. But also, when you're having a lot of these properties in a particular county, that means there's a lot of that, same type of property in that area. So it might be, a more affluent area, might be some golf courses in the area, right? So that tends to be a little bit more prevalent in those kind of markets.
Also use it as, on the flip side of that, I'll go on if you have one particular HOA neighborhood that a lot of people are wanting to sell, you probably want to do a little bit more digging. Yeah. Has the HOA have they assessed, owners for a project or something? Why is everybody trying to leave or things like that? Find that out also. I know another thing that I've found out, and I've done this a couple times, some HOAs, usually the higher end ones or something, will charge you a fee when you buy a property and sell a property. So I don't want to be dinged twice on a fee like that. Maybe 1% of the cost, whatever it may be, depending on what the HOA rules are. Yeah. On deals like that, 9 times out of 10, I assign them because there's no reason for me to need to buy it, pay this fee, and own it for 10 minutes. And then my end buyer is going to have to buy it and pay the fee.
Yeah, and that's very true. And, even Adam brings up a great point here because as you were saying that, I was thinking of the list of questions that we ask our sellers. Now, we didn't do this in the beginning that well, but we did it as we also started to find all these restrictions and HOAs. We got a bunch of mobile home areas. But it's all the questions on the front end, right? If you're talking to your seller, guess who's going to know more than anybody if there's an HOA fee? That seller. So that just means, like Adam is saying, you haven't had a good enough conversation with your seller, right? And that's finding out as much detail. So sometimes they may just have a list. I think I'm going to get my list of questions, and I can probably post that in the group or email it to everyone because that list of questions is really important. Donald is asking, glad Sarah bought that up. Have y'all ever heard of a buyer try to sell their golf membership with a property in an HOA? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've done it on the flip end. I did a house in a country club neighborhood that I flipped. I worked with I actually knew some of the folks at the country club there. I worked with the country club to include a 6-month membership.
Mike, we know you're hanging out in those country clubs. No, go ahead.
So I worked with them to include a 6-month membership in with the price of the house. And, their marketing team, they get them for 6 months and they start using the club and the amenities and stuff. They're going to be able to sell them for the full membership at the end. And they did end up selling them the full membership. So, yeah, I see that happening sometimes. And sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes it's not. It's just one of those things you may have to dig a little bit deeper to find out on.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, Sarah just also brings up that part about sellers and agents are wrong a lot. Well, I'll tell you what, your best bet is going to be the seller, in my opinion, because they're the ones who are making the payments. Yeah, agents. I would agree. Agents are going to mess up a lot. I agree. They're not going to know. I mean, sometimes they'll just write a listing and not even know what's going on. But the seller that's your closest person to know, other than doing your own due diligence and digging a little deeper, because they got to make the payments, right? Hopefully they're making them payments, and if not,
if you can get a hold of, if they've got a phone number or something. I've had some really, really good conversations with different HOA president, secretary, treasurer, whatever, board members on properties. And I just tell them what I'm doing. Look, I'm trying to acquire a property in here. And I just want to know, can you send me the rules and regulations?
Yeah.
Most of the time they will. And that's a great thing to have, because if I'm buying your property and it's an HOA, that's one of the first things I'm going to ask you to send me.
Yeah.
Is I need those rules and regulations.
Right. Yeah, and that comes in like a big, PDF. Sometimes they're really huge, by the way. Just a word of caution, because I've had quite a few of these. I've had quite a few of these properties. Is what I do is I take a PDF. I use PDF Expert as a PDF editor. Okay. So I'll go right to the page and I'll highlight it right there for them. So I can say, hey, go to page whatever, and I'll scribble on the top first page, go to page 3, 7, 10, whatever pages I need them to, and I highlight it so they can see it. Otherwise, when you send regulation docs and a PDF to people, they'll drown. Sometimes they drown. Yeah. They're like, what am I looking at? Especially with buyers.
Usually they need to read about 3 pages of the 497 pages. That are there.
Yeah. What price is it?
What can I build on?
What can I build on
it? What's it got to be? Just the basics.
Yeah, I mean, just think about it. Make it easier for your end buyer, and make it easy for who you're dealing with. It just if you make it easy for them, it makes the process a little easier. Thinking it's like putting yourself in their shoes. That's stuff that's really important. All right. So one last question coming in from Sarah. I found getting the HOA contract from the seller and going straight the HOA was the only way to get reliable info. If I can't get the HOA contract from the seller, I can sometimes find the community name on the deed and search the community that way. Yes. But I didn't think I could get a VA to do that. Okay. Well, what would be, I'm going to throw this to you, Mike. I'm filling in the gap here. Why couldn't a VA do that?
I think the right one could. The only hiccup I could see is that, there's a couple different scenarios that could pop up on how you could get. What you do is get a good VA that's got potential and is doing it or already looking for that, and there's probably some out there.
Yeah.
But do some trainings with them. Yeah. And kind of let them see what you're doing to get that information. Then they can mimic you, essentially.
It's very true. Very true. Hey, Mike, I'm going to add to that, because here's a strategy I do with podcasts, like me getting on podcasts. So I have a VA that has an email with my company. Okay. And so Aubrey has Aubrey at, and she has the email. So she goes on my behalf. I have a written message for her already, okay? And she goes on my behalf and starts talking to people, okay? She speaks good English. She writes good English. That's almost the same thing. Like, hi, I am Tina, okay? And I'm Sarah's assistant. Imagine a communication with the seller. I'm Sarah's assistant. Is there an HOA? Have you made payments on an HOA? Your assistant can talk to your seller on your behalf and find the HOA community like we just talked about and contact the HOA community. Hi, I am Sarah's assistant, right? And this is for everybody, by the way. We're looking to find out if there is an HOA in this area or whatever else you're looking for. Hopefully that makes sense, because when your VA is working on your behalf, they should be working on your behalf. If you want to give them a new name, give them a new name. Say, hey, you're working for me. Your name is Ahmed, whatever it is. That's so rude. That was so rude. I'm sorry. Whatever it is, okay? Maybe their name in a different country is Joey, and you want their name to be Tim. Then you say, listen, when you're with my company, your name is now Tim, and you're working in my company. You can do that. I actually had a VA that worked for me. I think everybody knows her. Her name was Joanna. And her name was not Joanna. Her name was Roseanne Joanna. Joanne, something else, Raposa. And I didn't call her by her first name. I said, no, this is your new name. And usually they're fine with that. Everybody likes a pseudo name.
Yeah.
So,
But you bring up a good point. Let them be a part of your company.
Yeah.
Give them mine has an email that's linked to my company. That they actually have a phone. They have a Skype phone number.
Exactly.
Where they can call the U.S., all that stuff. So they're just sitting in an office building somewhere in the U.S. They just happen to be somewhere else.
Yeah, no, it's very true. Yeah, and that's approach, it always works out the best. I think it works out the best if you find someone who's competent and can do and is already doing the work, similar work that you need. Then guess what? You can bring on that person into your company, right? And give them an email. The good thing is we've talked about this before, and I think we can wrap it up with this. Is G Suite, right? And I know we brought this up even with some of our clients, Mike. Is when you use G Suite, you can easily add in a new email under your brand. So if you're using G Suite, Google Suite, right? You can easily add a new person in the administration bar into, whatever your company is. So, and add a new person's email. Makes it very simple and easy. I should probably do an in-depth training on that tomorrow or something.
Yeah, you should.
Tech Tuesday is tomorrow. So I should probably do that. So that's about it. Mike, that's about all the questions we got.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good topics.
Yeah, good stuff. Glad everybody's crushing it and making it happen. Let's continue the momentum. And Mike, what do you got planned tomorrow other than the beach? What are you doing tomorrow?
Same thing I've done the last 8 to 10 days.
So I know you've been out there for almost a month. What's going on? Are you going to be out there till when? Everyone's wondering.
Well, I was going to come home Wednesday.
Okay.
And it's my wife's birthday is Wednesday, so
all right.
I was going to come home Wednesday, and she says, "Why are you coming home? Why don't you just stay?" It's like. So I'm going to stay to at least Friday. We actually celebrate her birthday on a different day here.
Okay.
And some of my neighbors, I pulled off a surprise party at the end of the evening.
Oh, that's nice.
So it worked out good. So she was happy. And I'll be happy.
Was that the day I kept bugging you to jump on the call?
I don't remember. It could have been.
I'm sorry. I was like, Mike, where are you? Mike, get on this call. But that was nice of you. That was nice of you, man. That was nice of you to do that.
Yeah, it didn't happen just because it took coordination of some neighbors to help me, and we all know one another, so it was a lot of fun anyway.
That's great. That's good stuff. All right, man. Well, enjoy the rest of your time at the beach. We'll see you soon.
Take care.
All right, man.
See you guys.
See you, everybody.